So hi everyone, a very good evening and welcome to today's live session. This is Gayatri here and I see a lot of you have joined. Gauri, Rajeshwari, Amit, Nayan. Good evening all of you. Anubrat, Venkat Rao. So nice to see you all here. So as you all know, in today's session the topic that we are going to be discussing is time, speed and distance from quantitative ability, and this is a very important topic from quantitative ability section and a very easy topic once you are thorough with the concepts of the topic. Okay, so hi Naveen, hi Anubrat, good evening all of you. So we'll wait for 1 or 2 seconds for more of you to join and then we'll start. Hi Revati. Good evening Arpita. Okay, so I think we'll start the session. So coming to time, speed and distance, what the session we are going to be doing it like this today. First we will look at the concepts that is involved in this topic, and then we will go about discussing questions that has been asked from this topic in bank exams in the recent years. Okay, and this is going to be a refresher session. So I am going to be skimming through the basics, assuming that you have watched the time and distance videos in detail. If you are listening to time and distance for the very first time, if you need detailed explanations of the concepts that we are going to be discussing today, please refer back to the video lessons that is available in the portal. Okay. Please take session on circle. So Nayan, the sessions that we are scheduling, so these are instructor-led sessions that we are doing, or refresher sessions wherein we are trying to cover all the important topics. You can look at the schedule of these sessions in the events calendar. So definitely in the mensuration section we will be covering circles questions for you. Okay, yeah. So Pechi Lakshmi has joined, Mitali has joined, Pooja Shri has joined. Okay, so let's start. Now coming to time and distance, time, speed and distance. The three most important variables, okay, that we will be taking into consideration in this topic is time, speed and distance. Okay, now the very first and the most basic formula that you will need to solve any question that comes from this topic is what? Distance is equal to speed into time, right? Or the distance covered is the product of the speed into the time of travel. Okay, D is equal to ST. So that is the very basic formula which we have all been studying from our school days. Now, next thing that we need to know is the units of each of these variables. The units of distance, speed and time. Okay, so let me share my screen. We will just note down whatever we are discussing so that it's easier for you to understand. So let me share my screen. Hi Jansi, we just started the session. So we are discussing the basics of time, speed and distance. So as I said, distance is equal to speed into time. So this is the first and the most important formula that you need to know when you solve questions from this topic. Now coming to the units, okay, distance is generally measured in terms of what? Either meters or kilometers. Correct, and we know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters, right? Sometimes miles and all also come, but generally, in general, these are the units that come. Okay, now speed is generally measured in two types, either meter per second or kilometers per hour. Okay, now how do you convert? Like, see, the most important thing that you have to remember is that in a problem, okay, all the variables should be in the same unit. So this is something that we try to miss out when we solve questions from time and distance. Okay, so whenever a problem on time and distance come, the first thing that you have to see to it is that the distance, the speed and the time, they are all in corresponding similar units. Okay, if they are not, you have to convert them. So conversion of variables from one unit to another is very important. Like if time is given in meters per second, for example in a question time is given in terms of meters per second and the distance is given in terms of kilometers. Okay, so or let us say that in the question everything else is in terms, that is distance is in terms of kilometers, time is in terms of hour, speed alone is in terms of meter per second. So what should we do? The speed should also be converted to kilometers per hour. okay, to make the units standardized throughout the problem. So in such cases, this basic conversion will definitely come in handy for you. That is 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meters per second, okay, and 1 meters per second is equal to 18 by 5 kilometers per hour. So always remember this conversion, because this will come in very handy while solving questions, okay. Then now coming to time, time is usually measured in terms of either seconds or hours or in terms of minutes, okay. See, we know 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes and this is equal to 60 into 60, that is 3600 seconds. So if you know these basic conversions, solving questions from this topic becomes very, very easy. Yes, see, Gauri has given meters per second is equal to 18 by 5 kilometers per hour, correct. Now first type, now we have learned this basic. The next important topic or section from this topic would be calculation of average speed, okay. You should know how to calculate the average speed, okay. See, for example, I am asking, there is a question which says that there is a person, okay, who travels for 40 kilometers, first 40 kilometers of his journey, right, he is traveling at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour, okay, and the next 30 kilometers of his journey, okay, next 30 kilometers he is traveling at a speed of let us say 30 kilometers per hour. Now if the question is what is the average speed of the person, what will be the average speed? Can you guys tell me? See, if I am saying that a person is traveling the first 40 kilometers at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour and the next 30 kilometers at a speed of 30 kilometers per hour, what is his average speed? Can any of you give me the answer? What would be the answer for the question? Okay, somebody says 12. Nilab says 12. Somebody says, gives me the formula. So the first thing that we should know here is that, see, when they ask for average speed, it does not mean you have to just do 20 plus 30 divided by 2. No, that's not how you calculate average speed, okay. We all tend to make that mistake, never do that. We tend to do, for some time he's traveling for 20, then for some other time he's traveling for 30. So the average is 20 plus 30 by 2 or 25 kilometers per hour. No, that's not how you do it. Average speed, okay. Average speed is always calculated as the total distance covered divided by the total time. Okay, total distance by total time. Like some of you very correctly gave me the formula, like Gauri gave me the formula, one more person gave me the formula, right? Who gave? Hasina, Shakti, right? So average speed is always given as total distance by total time. Okay, so how do you calculate the average speed here? Here what is the total distance that he has covered? He has covered 70 kilometers, correct? 40 plus 30. Now to cover this 40 kilometer, what is the time he is taking? 40 by 20, or that is equal to 2 hours. Here the time that he is taking is 30 by 30. 30 kilometers he is traveling at a speed of 30 kilometers per hour, means he does that in 1 hour, correct? So his total time taken is 2 plus 1, that is equal to 70 by 3. So this is going to be the average speed. Yes, so whenever you calculate average speed, use this formula, okay, total distance divided by total time. Always remember that, don't directly take in the average. Now, for example, in questions wherein the distance covered in both the halves are the same, there are some formulas which you can use, like 2s1 s2 by s1 plus s2. We will consider these formula when we solve questions from this topic today. Okay, we are going to be solving a question which involves this formula. So at that time we will discuss this formula. Okay, that's about average speed. Now let's move on to the next important section from this topic, that is going to be relative speed. Relative speed is the most important concept involved in time, speed and distance, and if you understand the concept very clearly, it becomes very easy to solve. Now what is relative speed? Relative speed is considered as the speed of one object with respect to another. Basically, when there are relative speed comes into play. When does relative speed come into play? It comes into play when two objects are involved. in a problem, okay? When two objects are moving, the speed of one object with respect to another is called as the relative speed, okay? For example, the best way, okay, to understand the concept of relative speed is this. Yes, Anubrat says depends on the direction, very true. Now see, all of us would have faced this situation, right? All of us, I'm sure all of you would have traveled by train at least once, okay? Now, see, there are some times when you are sitting in a train, okay, and let us say that, okay, there are two trains, A and B, okay. I'm sure all of you have faced this situation. You are sitting in train B, okay. Now you are looking, basically your train is going faster. If your train is going faster and you are looking at train A, sometimes you actually feel that this train is not moving and it is stationary, but it would actually be moving, okay. So why are we feeling this? Why do we feel that this train is stationary? If you are going in a faster train, okay, and a train which is actually going slower in the same direction as you are, you actually feel that the train which is going slow is stagnant or it's not moving, okay. Similarly, if you are going in a train which is moving slow, let us say that this train A is moving at 20 kilometers per hour and this train B is moving at 40 kilometers per hour, okay. Now, if you were sitting on train B, you would actually feel that this train A is stationary and it's not moving at all. Now, why is that? That is because the speed of one train gets superimposed on the another, okay, and that is why you feel that this train is stationary. Similarly, if you are going in the slower train, what will happen is you will actually feel that this train B is going only at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour. Again, why is that happening? That is because you again feel that because the speed of the train gets superimposed. So that is the basic concept of relative speed. And always remember, when two objects are moving in the same direction, the relative speed is nothing but the difference between the speed of the two objects, okay? Different between the speeds. So if they are moving in the same direction. Now if two objects are moving in the opposite direction, relative speed is what? The sum of the speeds of the objects. For example, if you have two trains, okay, why I am giving the train example is this is one thing that we would have all felt as children. When we sit in the train, we would have always experienced this, okay. So if there are two trains moving in the opposite directions, their speeds get superimposed and it becomes, it gets added on. See, again, how do you explain this with the help of again sitting on the train? If two trains are crossing each other, actually the train in which you are sitting is traveling at 40 kilometers per hour and another train is crossing you or going in the opposite direction at the speed of 20 kilometers per hour. But from the train that you are sitting in, you will actually feel that the opposite train is going at 60 kilometers per hour. You feel that it's really going fast and crossing you. That is because, again, because of relative speed, speeds of both the trains get added up, right? And the relative speed is what you see and you feel the other train is going at 60 kilometers per hour. Okay, so that is the basic concept of relative speed. Generally, when two objects, when two trains, see train problems and boats and streams, right? These are two very important applications of relative speed. So first let's look at train problems. So if the question is about trains or two cars or two buses moving, okay, always remember when two objects are moving in the opposite directions, their speeds gets added up due to relative speed, and when two objects are going in the same direction, the relative speed is nothing but the difference between their speeds. Okay, yeah. Now, this concept is clear, no? So, and again, okay, that is concept of relative speed. And next thing that we need to look at is train problems, right? Applications of relative speed. The first application that we will generally use is questions on trains. Now, as I said, in questions on train, opposite direction, if they are going, if two trains are going, then add their speeds. If they are going in the same direction, subtract their speeds. Now, generally on questions from trains, what we should also do is we should also consider the length of the train. Okay, so for example, why are we considering the length of the train? See, if it is two cars or two buses, generally the length of these objects are not considerable, right? They are small to consider while you are calculating speed and distance and all that. But when it is a train, the length of the train is too big. So that's why generally the length of the train comes into place. For example, if there are two trains L1 and, okay, two trains T1 and T2, okay. These two trains have length L1 and L2. Now the question is like this is traveling with a speed of S1, this is traveling with a speed of S2. So if these two trains are crossing each other, the time taken by both of these trains to cross each other will be what? L1 plus L2 by S1 plus S2. Right, because they are anyway going to be moving in the opposite direction. So the net speed is going to be the sum of their speeds, and here you have to add the length of both the trains. Okay, why is that we are adding? See, when do we say that these two trains have crossed each other? We can say that these two trains have crossed each other only when this end of the train, this train T1 is coming here, and this end of this train is coming here. Correct? So when will that happen? When the two trains have to cross the length of themselves. So that is why we are taking L1 plus L2. Okay. So similarly, if there are two trains which are moving in the same direction, how do we do? See, there are two trains, T1 going with a speed of S1, T2 going with a speed of S2. This has length L1 and this has length L2, means the time for them, for one train to overtake the another train, will be L1 plus L2 divided by S1 minus S2, where I am assuming that S1 is the speed of the faster train. Okay, so this is the basic concept that you have to take into consideration when you solve questions from trains. Now, next, moving on to boats and streams. I hope all these concepts, all of you, yeah, somebody has written S1 greater than S2, correct. So I hope all of you know these concepts. So I don't think there is any confusion. So we will move on to the last type of questions from this section, that is from boats and streams. Okay, see, if all these concepts are clear to you, then solving questions from this topic is not very difficult. If the logic is very clear in your mind, it's very easy to solve, especially when it comes to train problems and boats and streams. We would have faced this in our real life for sure. So it's easier for you to relate and then remember the formulas accordingly. Even though there are few formulas like L1 plus L2 by S1 plus S2, I would say we needn't actually remember these formulas. See, you know, right, when two objects are moving in opposite direction, their speed gets superimposed. So if you are clear with the concept, remembering the formula is not actually required. Okay. Yeah. Now coming to boats and streams, see, generally again, concept of relative speed. Here what we have to remember is there are one or two terms which you should remember. See, for example, let's assume that there is a river which is flowing in this direction. So what is this? See, this is water flowing, right? So this is called as the speed of the current. Okay, there is a current of water flowing. So generally in questions on boats and streams, we look at the speed of the water current. Okay, the speed of the water current. In questions, you generally take it as U or V. Okay, let us just take it as V here. And for example, if there is a boat that is going, okay, let's say the boat is going in this direction. So this direction means it is going on the same direction as the water. So this is called as downstream. Okay, if the boat travels in the same direction as in which the water is flowing, generally we say the boat is going downstream. And if the speed of the boat, okay, normal speed of the boat without the water having any speed is U kilometers per hour or U meters per second, whatever, the net speed now will be what? U plus V, right? Because both of them are in the same direction. The boat is going on the same direction of the current. So what will actually happen? The water current is also pushing the boat forward further. Correct? So that is in downstream cases. So what is happening? Both the speeds get added up. Yeah. Similarly, if the water is coming in this direction, yeah, with a speed of V, let's say kilometers per hour, and the boat is going in this direction with a speed of U kilometers per hour. Here what is happening? The water current is flowing in one direction, the boat is going against it. Right? So the net speed of the boat will reduce. Again, relative speed comes into effect and the net speed of the boat will be U minus V. So this is how you approach problems where you have boats and streams. So this case is called as a downstream case and that is called as upstream. Okay. And there is a very basic formula here generally that you can remember. It might be useful in some problems. That is the speed of the boat. Okay. Speed of the boat in still water is generally given as half into speed of downstream plus speed of upstream. Okay. In some questions this might come in handy. Similarly, the speed of the boat in the speed of the stream okay, is generally given as half into speed of the downstream minus speed of the upstream. Now all these formulas will be explained in details, how we are arriving at these formulas and all in the detailed video lessons. You can go through it. Even if you don't remember these formulas, it's still fine, because if you are good with the concepts, clear with the concepts, might not be required. But again, in a few questions, if you remember these formulas, what happens is the answer you get it in one step. Right? You can save a lot of time by remembering such small formulas. Okay, so let's move on to the session. So these are the basics. For detailed explanations, please go through the video lessons, and let's look at the first question for today's session. The first question is there on the screen. So this question was asked in IBPS clerk exam in one of the previous years. Now the IBPS clerk's exam is coming, and I'm sure a lot of you are preparing for that. Hi Nilesh, good evening. So we have just started solving the questions, and till now we were discussing the basics or the concepts involved in this topic. So the first question is there on your screen. Try to solve this question. Fairly easy question. Yesterday Preeti typed an essay of 5,000 words at the speed of 60 words per minute. Today she typed the same essay faster and her speed was 15% more than yesterday. What is the approximate difference in the time she took to type yesterday and the time she took to type today? Hi Lalin. Hi Kishore. So what is the answer for this question? Any of you got? Very easy question by now. I should be getting the answer. It's just a one-step question where you can solve it in like less than 10 seconds. These are all mark scoring questions. What is the answer for this question? I know answers. Okay. Good evening, Rahul. Come on, yeah, very easy question. Why nobody is solving it? Yeah, Anubrat has finally given me the answer. Anubrat says B. Gauri says 10. Okay. See what is asked in this question. Yesterday, Prithvi typed an essay of 5,000 words at a speed of 60 words per minute. So what is the time that she has taken? 5,000 by 60, right? 5,000 words, she is typing at a speed of 60 words per minute. So totally how many minutes will she take? She will take 500 by 6, or let us say it is 80, you solve, you get 83.33 minutes approximately, or 83 minutes approximately, correct? Now, if her speed has increased by 15% more than yesterday, so what is her speed now? Earlier she was typing 60 words per minute, right? So now her speed is 60 into 15% more, means you can either do 1.15, or it is, if it was 60, now it has increased by 15%, correct? 15% of 60, right? What is 15% of 60? 15 into 6 is 90, correct? So 15% of 60 is nothing but 9. So what is her speed now? Her speed has now become 69. So earlier it was 60, now it is 69. So now how much time will she take to type 5,000 words, wherein she can type one word in 69 minutes? She will take approximately 5,000 by 69, which is approximately 70 some value, right? 72, I think. 72. So here it is 83, here it is 72. So what is the difference in time that she has taken? Here she was taking 83 minutes, here she is taking only 72 minutes. So approximately there is a difference of 10 minutes, right? See, they are also asking the approximate difference. So you needn't do the exact calculation. So here the answer would be C, that is 10 minutes. Chandra Neeraj and somebody else gave me the answer as 20. How did you guys get the answer as 20 and 30? It should be 10 minutes, right? In one case she is taking 72 minutes, in the other case she is taking 83 minutes. So the answer for this question would be 10. Yes, who gave me the answer as 30? Anubrat. Anubrat, just check. Once again, very easy mark scoring question. Let's not make a calculation mistake here, okay? Yeah, so let's move on to the next one. The next question is there on your screen. The average speed of a train is 3 times the average speed of a car. The car covers a distance of 520 kilometers in 8 hours. How much distance will the train cover in 13 hours? See, these questions are mark scoring question, less than 10 seconds. You should answer without a mistake. So give me the answer for this. Yeah, Nilesh has given me the answer. Nilam, Elan, Tamilan. Okay, so let's solve. Average speed of a train. Okay, so there is a train. The speed of the train is 3 times the speed of the car. Now the car covers a distance of 520 kilometers in 8 hours. So what is the speed of the car? 520 by 8. Okay, what is 520 by 8? 65. Correct. So speed of the car is 65. So what is going to be the speed of the train? 65 into 3. Okay, kilometers per hour. Now what are they asking? How much distance will the train cover in 13 hours? So in 13 hours, how much distance will the train cover? 65 into 3 into 13. Correct. And when you solve that, you get the answer as 2535 kilometers. See, as I said in time and distance questions, always look at the units of the given variables. Here it is the same, so we needn't make any conversions, and when you solve, you get the answer as option D, that is 2535. Now next question. A car driver travels from the plains to a hill station which are 200 kilometers apart at an average speed of 40 kilometers per hour. In the return trip, he covers the same distance at an average speed of 20 kilometers per hour. The average speed of the car over the entire distance of 400 kilometers is what? Yes, for the previous question, a lot of you got the answer correctly. Gobi Chand, Sindhuja, Hasina, Arpita, good. Chandra Neeraj, Pavan. So Neeraj, how was your RBI assistant exam yesterday? You said you were writing it yesterday. Did it go off well? And did you have questions on time and work? Because in Monday's sessions we said, let's see if time and work comes. Ellen Tamilan has given me the answer for this. Okay. So how do you solve this question? See, generally how we solve is average speed is equal to the total distance, right, divided by the total time. So here what is the total distance? Upwards he is traveling 200 kilometers and downwards he is traveling 200 kilometers. The total distance is 400 kilometers. For his upward journey, what is his time taken? For the upward journey he takes 200 by 40, correct? 200 kilometers at 40 kilometers per hour. How much will he take? He will take 5 hours, correct? Similarly, downward journey 200 by 20, correct? So the downward journey he will take 10 hours. So his total time taken will be 10 plus 5, that is 15. So okay, Neeraj says not well, it's okay, only attempted 63 questions. Don't worry Neeraj, let's see. Yes. Okay. Okay, Nilab says paper was easy, cutoff will be high. Okay, let's hope for the best. Now that we have given the exam, let's always hope for the best. Okay. Yeah. So this is 5 hours and 10 hours. So here it will be 400 by 15, that is 26.67 kilometers per hour. Now, see, now this was what I was saying in the beginning of the session. So here in this question, there is a formula that you can use, okay, when you calculate average speed, okay, and the distance traveled in, let's say that 1 or 2 intervals is the same. If the distance is constant, okay, if the distance is constant in all the intervals, we can directly say that the average speed, okay, is equal to 2 into S1 S2 divided by S1 plus S2. You can make use of this formula. So here in this question, this is also an easy way, but again when you use the formula you might even get the answer faster. You can save in terms of seconds, right? So how will what will the answer be? So if you are using the formula, it will be 2 into 40 into 20 divided by 40 plus 20, that is 60. You solve this directly, also you will get the same answer. Okay, so this is a little more faster way to solve. So let us, if distance is constant, try to use the formula if you are able to remember it. If you are not able to remember it, it is still okay. It might take a few extra seconds to arrive at the answer, but I would prefer for this, remember the formula. That is option C. Okay, so Anil says he attempted 77. Okay, good. Let's see, I hope all of you clear the exam. So let's hope for the best. Okay, now let us look at the next one. See, even if you don't clear, never give up. There is always a next time. Yeah. And you might also be giving other exams. Now let us forget the exam that you have already written and focus on the next one. So sometimes what happens is we fail in 1 or 2 attempts, but we will definitely clear the next attempt, right? If we really strive hard and focus, there is nothing that you cannot do. If you believe in yourself that I will be able to do this, you will definitely be able to do it. Even if you have a small doubt thinking that no, I am not going to make it, then you will never be able to make it, right? Always keep this in mind. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Walking at 2/3 at his usual speed, Manoj reached school late by half an hour. The usual time is dash. Again, very easy question. So how to solve this? Ellen Tamlin has already given me the answer. So this is again a very easy question. So see what is here. See, generally there is a distance that is being covered by a person at certain speed at certain time. Correct? Now what is happening to his speed? Same distance he is covering, but his speed is 2/3 of his original speed. And what is happening to the time? He is reaching late by half an hour. So earlier if he was taking t hours to cover the distance, now he is taking t plus half. Correct? So distance is the same and speed and time have changed accordingly. So just equate these two. St is equal to 2/3 s into t plus 1/2, right? Solve for t. Directly you get the value of t. 3t is equal to 2t plus 1, or t is equal to 1. So earlier he was reaching in 1 hour. Now he will reach in 1.5 hours. So the answer for the question is D. One hour. Yes, everybody got it. Very basic question. Let's move on to the next question. An aeroplane flies with an average speed of 756 kilometers per hour. A helicopter takes 48 hours to cover twice the distance covered by the aeroplane in 9 hours. How much distance will the helicopter cover in 18 hours? Assuming that flights are, this is not flights, sorry, flights, right? Assuming that flights are non-stop and moving with uniform speed. Pechi Ramalakshmi, previous question, what happened? T minus half is equal to what? I didn't understand you. It is t plus half, no? He is half an hour late, means earlier if he was traveling at a time t, now he is taking t plus 1/2. Good evening, Amit. Pechalakshmi, I didn't understand your doubt. Okay, look at the next question. I'll get back to you if you tell me what. Time taken. No, time taken is not t minus half, no. See, earlier that person was going with a speed of s and time t. He was taking t time. Now, he is late to the school by half an hour, that is t plus half. His usual time is what? It is still t. How it is t minus half? No. The usual time he takes is t. This is his usual time, this is the time because he is getting late. So, t is the thing that we have to find out. He is late by half an hour. Walking at 2/3 of his usual speed, Manoj reached school late by half an hour. See, usually Manoj is travelling with a speed of s and he takes t hours to reach. So, d is equal to st. Now, Manoj is travelling at 2/3 s and he is reaching late by half an hour, means he is taking t plus half an hour to reach. So, again d is equal to this equation, right? But d is same in both cases. So, I equated, I get t is equal to 1 hour. Yeah, t is what he was taking actually to reach. Correct, you got it? Okay. Now next question, what is the answer? Anybody got? Ellen Damlan has given me the answer as 5103. Again, a very easy question. So, an aeroplane flies with an average speed of 756 km per hour. Okay. A helicopter, okay, let d be the distance covered by the aeroplane. Okay. And a helicopter takes 48 hours to cover the distance covered by the aeroplane in 9 hours. So, in 9 hours, how much distance will the aeroplane cover? 756 into 9. Okay. Now, a helicopter takes 48 hours to cover twice this distance. So, to cover 756 into 9 into 2, right? Twice this distance, the helicopter is taking how much? It is taking 48 hours. So, what is the speed of the helicopter? This divided by 48, right? To cover this distance, the helicopter is taking 48 hours. So, the speed of the helicopter is equal to 756 into 9 into 2 by 48. Now, how much distance will the helicopter cover in 18 hours? So, the distance covered by the helicopter in 18 hours is what? The 756 into 9 into 2 divided by 48 into 18, correct? The speed of the helicopter into the time. See, here I am not simplifying it here itself because I felt together in the end it is better to simplify instead of finding out each answer at each step and wasting our time. Directly here you can simplify, and when you simplify, I think all of you are getting the answer as 5103, which is correct. So, the answer for this question is 5103 kilometers. Yes? Okay, that is option D. Next question. Next question is there on your screen. Oh, you didn't understand the question? Okay. See, again, it's a very easy question. Let me just explain it once again. See, an aeroplane flies with an average speed of 756 kilometers per hour. A helicopter takes 48 hours to cover twice the distance covered by the aeroplane in 9 hours. So, what is the distance covered by the aeroplane in 9 hours? In 9 hours, the aeroplane covers 756 kilometer into 9, correct? Per hour, that is speed into time. 756 into 9. So, this is the distance covered by the aeroplane in 9 hours. Now, the helicopter is taking 48 hours to cover twice this distance. Correct? Twice this distance means what? 756 into 9 into 2. To cover this distance, the helicopter is taking 48 hours. So, what is the speed of the helicopter? The distance it covers by the time taken. So, to cover this distance, it is taking so much time. So, this is the speed of the helicopter. Now, the question is, how much will the helicopter cover in 18 hours? That is nothing but the speed of the helicopter into 18. That is what I have done. See, I have not simplified it at each step, so that there is only one final calculation that I need to do. Okay, I hope it is clear now, Pechi Ramalakshmi. Let us move on to the next one. Gulshan, Shakti and Om start running around a circular stadium and complete one round in 14 seconds, 8 seconds and 15 seconds respectively. In how much time will they meet again at the starting point? Okay, Ellen Tamilan says 14, Nilab says 13. See again, this is a question on circular tracks. Okay, when there is a question on circular tracks, let's say there are two persons. Okay, they are starting from this point. Let's say there is A and B, and both of them are traveling with speeds of let's say A kilometers per hour. This person is traveling at a speed of A kilometers per hour. He is traveling at a speed of B kilometers per hour. So if they are running around in the circle in the same direction, when will they first meet? Okay, when will they first meet? To solve that question directly, you can use this formula, assuming that the length of the track, okay, assuming the length of the track is L, the point where they will meet first, okay, for the first time is nothing but L by A minus B. So after every L by A minus B seconds, they will meet, where A is the speed of A and B is the speed of B. This is again the concept of relative speed that we are using. Similarly, let us say there are people who are again two persons, A and B, they are going with a speed of A kilometers per hour and B is going with a speed of B kilometers per hour. So when will they meet again at the starting point? When will they meet again here at the same starting point for the first time? So to solve that, generally what we do is we do LCM of L by A, L by B. If there are three persons, just extend that, it will become L by C. Okay, so this is the formula that you have to use. So this is the time when all three of them will meet again at the starting point. So here if you apply this formula, this is nothing but the time. What is L by A? L by A is the time taken by the person A to cover this track. Similarly, L by B is the time taken by the person B to cover the track. L by C is the time taken by the third person, if there is a third person, to cover the track. So to solve this question, you just need to find LCM of 14, 8 and 15. That will give you the answer. What is the LCM of 14, 18 and 15? It is nothing but 840, correct? If you solve the LCM of this, you get it as 840. Now 840 is what? It is in terms of seconds, correct? Here the options are in terms of minutes. So how many minutes is that? 840 divided by 60. So that is 84 by 6 or 14 minutes. So every 14 minutes they will meet at the starting point. Here that's what, see somebody is telling me length is not given. Yes, but the formula is what? See, LCM of the time taken by the first person, time taken by the second person, time taken by the third person. Now this formula, generally this is the formula that we learn, because mostly in questions what they will say is there is a track of 1000 meters, A is traveling with a speed of 15 kilometers per hour, B with 20. So in that case, you apply the value of L and A. Here directly they have given you what is L by A. They have directly given you the time taken by each one of them. So you don't need this, right? L by A itself is given directly to you. So why do you need L and A separately? Who asked me that doubt? I hope that's clear. Anubrat, right? See, Sukanya says this type of question they asked in RBI exam. Okay. Anubrat, I hope it's clear. Who asked me that? Somebody said. Okay. Anubrat, yeah, Anubrat only asked. Length is not given. So generally, see, remember that in circular track questions, there are one or two formulas. If you basically circular track questions rarely comes, and whenever it comes, there are these 3 or 4 formulas. If you remember, it will become very easy to solve questions from this topic. So if the question is, when will all the 3 people meet again at the starting point for the first time, just do this formula. You get the answer. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. There are also a few other types of questions that can come from this circular tracks. Just refer to the video lessons on that. So I have just taken questions that has been asked in exams previously. Now the next question that you see again on the screen is, actually I won't, okay, let's solve it and then I'll say what I wanted to say. 3 persons start walking together and their steps measure 40 centimeters, 42 centimeters and 45 centimeters respectively. What is the minimum distance each should walk so that each can cover the same distance in complete steps? Ellen Tamlin has given me the answer as A. Now, okay, let me say what I wanted to say now. See, this is a very, very easy question, and I've just taken it in time and distance topic because there were these distance given, right? But actually it's an application of LCM and HCF. So what they're asking us, see, let us say that the first person, okay, let's say his leg is 2 feet long. There is another person whose leg is 3 feet long. So every time what is happening, he is covering 2, 2, 2 every time, correct? Now this person will cover 3, 3, 3. So at this point, right, 3. At this point, both of them are covering equal distances, correct? The same distance they are covering with full steps. So what does that mean? Basically, what are they asking? They are asking us to find the least common multiple of all of these 3. So if you find the LCM of 40, 42 and 45, you get your answer, right? So the answer for this question is LCM of 40, 42 and 45. I am sure all of you know to find the LCM, 40, 42, 45. So just do long division, right? 3 will go 8, 14, 3, 2 will go 4, 7, 3. So if you multiply all this, I think everybody is getting the answer as 2520. 2520. Okay, now this is what? This is in terms of meters, correct? Centimeters. This is in terms of centimeters. So when you convert it into meters, it is nothing but 25 meters and 20 centimeters. 25 meters and 20 centimeters. So somebody just asked me about other cases of circular track. As I said, all these are explained in the video lessons. Aditya, you can go through that. So I just discussed the formula that was needed for the specific problem that has been taken for today's session. Now let's move on to the next question. Very easy question. Everybody is getting the answer correctly for this one. Next question is there on your screen. Now this question is actually easy but looks a bit tricky. So let's try. Wheels of diameters 7 cm and 14 cm start rolling simultaneously from X and Y, which are 1980 centimeters apart towards each other in opposite direction. Both of them make the same number of revolutions per second. If both of them meet after 10 seconds, the speed of the smaller wheel is dash. So in the beginning of the session, somebody was asking me about circles, right? So here you have to use the concept of circles. You will have to use a very basic formula in circles to solve this question. Nilab says 22. Nilab, could you tell me how you arrived at the answer? 22. What about others? Everybody is getting the same answer? Okay, I am not getting it as 22. Let's check. Let's solve and see. Ellen Tamilan says 66. Okay. Any other answers? See, the first thing that you have to understand in this question is what is given in the question. Now, what is given? Wheels of diameters 7 cm and 14 cm start rolling simultaneously from X to Y. Okay, and it is given that both of them make the same number of revolutions per second. Now, what is one revolution? See, the wheel is in the form of a circle. Correct? So one revolution is one. Let's start from this point. Now this point, let us take it as A. Now this point is at the bottom, right? And the wheel is starting to rotate. It is going around. Now when this point what happens? This keeps going up, then finally it comes back here. So when this point completes one full circle, right? It goes and comes back here. That is called as one revolution. So basically, what is the distance that is covered by the wheel for one revolution? It is nothing but the wheel has to cover a distance of the circumference of the circle. See, one revolution accounts to the distance covered to be the circumference of the circle, right? And what is given in 1 second? right? The distance covered by both of the wheels is the same, okay, or the revolutions, number of revolutions is given as the same, not the distance, sorry, number of revolutions is given as the same. So I hope you understood what is a revolution. A revolution is wherein one point, starting from this point, the wheel is rotating and again this point is coming to the bottom, right? That represents one revolution, and one revolution, when you take it as the distance covered, it is nothing but the full circumference of the circle, correct? What is circumference of the circle? It is given by the formula 2 pi r. Now in the question they have given that both the wheels are making the same number of revolutions per second. So I am going to assume that, let us assume that both the wheels make x revolutions per second. Okay. Now to make one revolution, what is the distance covered by the first wheel? It is nothing but 2 pi into r, means here 7, correct? Diameter is 7. So what is the radius? 7 by 2, correct? So this is the circumference of the first wheel, and this is the distance covered by the first wheel in one revolution. And in 1 second, how many revolutions is this first wheel doing? It is doing x revolutions. So the distance covered by the first wheel is going to be what? 2 pi into 7 by 2 x, correct? Now there is another wheel also. Now what is the other wheel doing? The other wheel, in 1 minute, what will be the distance covered by the other wheel? It is going to be 2 pi into 14, correct? 14 by 2. This is the distance it is covering in one revolution. So totally how many revolutions is it doing in 1 second? It is doing x revolution. So this is the distance covered by the second wheel in 1 second, right? Distance covered by the second wheel in 1 second and the distance covered by the first wheel in 1 second. Now what are they saying? Both the wheels are moving in the opposite directions towards each other, and they are meeting each other in 10 seconds, correct? And the distance between them is 1980 centimeters. So what does that mean? See, both the wheels are at a distance of 1980 centimeters. This wheel is moving towards this direction, this wheel is moving towards this direction, and they are meeting at a time of 10 seconds, correct? So in 1 second, the distance covered by the two wheels is what? 2 pi 7 by 2 x plus 2 pi 14 by 2 x, right? So in 10 seconds, what is the distance covered by them? In 10 seconds put together, both of them are covering 1980 centimeters. So I can just frame this equation: 2 pi into 7 by 2 x plus 2 pi into 14 by x into 10 is equal to 1980. You just solve this, you get the value of x, okay? So actually if you solve it, you get x is equal to 3. So what does x represent? X represents that the wheels make how many revolutions? It makes 3 revolutions. So in 1 second, both the wheels make 3 revolutions. And what is the question? What is the speed of the smaller wheel, right? So how much distance will the smaller wheel cover in 1 second? In 1 second, the smaller wheel will cover 2 pi into 7 by 2 into 3, correct? Or again, pi you can write it as 22 by 7 into 7 into 3, or it is 66. So in 1 minute, the smaller wheel will cover 66 centimeter, or the speed of the smaller wheel is nothing but 66 centimeters per second, because in 1 second it is covering 66 centimeters, or its speed is 66 centimeters per second. That is option C. So Pechi Ramalakshmi is asking me, is it 2 different wheels? Yes, it is 2 different wheels. So I will just explain it once again for those of you who are new to this problem. See what is asked in the question. There are 2 wheels. Okay, one is a wheel having a diameter of 7 centimeter, and another is a wheel having a diameter of 7 centimeter, right? This is one with 7 centimeter, 14 centimeter. Now both of these wheels are that is, they are starting from 2 points moving towards each other. Distance between them is given as 1980 centimeters, and they are meeting each other in 10 seconds. Now there is one information that is given in the question, that both of them make the same number of revolutions per second. Okay, now what is one revolution? One revolution is where, if this is a wheel and this is a point A touching the ground, one revolution represents one full circle the wheel covers, and this point A comes back here again. Okay, or that is nothing but the circumference of the circle. That represents the distance covered in one revolution. Okay, so the distance covered by the wheel in one revolution is nothing but the circumference of the circle, which is 2 pi r, right? So we know what is the distance covered by each wheel in 1 revolution, that is 2 pi into 7 by 2, 2 pi into 14 by 2, because 7 and 14 are the diameters. Now it is given that both of them make same number of revolutions per second. So I have assumed that both the wheels make x revolutions per second. Okay, so in 1 second put together, what will happen? What is the distance covered by both the wheels? In 1 second, this wheel will cover 2 pi 7 by 2 into x, because it is doing x revolutions. Similarly, this wheel will cover 2 pi into 14 by 2 x. So this is the distance covered by both the wheels in 1 second. Okay, now in the question they are saying that when both the wheels are moving in opposite directions, in 10 seconds they are meeting, correct? Or what does that mean? In 10 seconds both of them are put together covering a distance of 1980, correct? So the distance covered by both the wheels in 10 seconds can be equated as the distance that they are covering in 1 second into 10, right? This is the distance both the wheels put together are covering in 1 second into 10 is equal to 1980. From this I got the value of x, where x is equal to 3. See, this is a very easy simplification, so that's why I did not simplify and I directly wrote the answer. So if x is equal to 3, what does x represent? X represents the revolutions done per second, correct? So in 1 second each wheel is doing 3 revolutions. So what is the distance that is covered by the first wheel? Because we are looking at the smaller wheel, no? So this is the smaller wheel. So the smaller wheel covers 2 pi into 7 by 2 into x. X is 3, or it is covering 66 centimeters in 1 second. So if a wheel covers 66 centimeters in 1 second, what is the speed of the wheel? 66 centimeters per second. That's all. That is option C. Now, if you are actually solving this question in the exam, see, I have written it so lengthy with so much explanation, just this one step will do, right? Just these steps will do for you to arrive at the answer if you know the concept. Since this is a different concept, I have explained it so much, only these steps you will get the answer if you are clear with the concept. So I hope it is clear now, Pechi, Ramalakshmi and Darshini. It's a very easy question. If you have solved a question like this previously, then in the exam it will be very easy for you to solve. Now let's move on to the next question. The next question is there on your screen. So apparently this question, one of you, I think Rahul, has posted it in the discussion forum as well. So I have not taken it up in the discussion forum because anyway this question was scheduled for today's session, and this is also a question that was asked in a, I think IBPS clerk exam only. I am not sure, but you can solve it here. Nitin is asking good and a question mark. What does that mean, Nitin? Okay, for everybody it is clear, yeah. So look at this question. An aeroplane takes off 30 minutes later than the scheduled time, and in order to reach its destination 1500 kilometers away in time, it has to increase its speeds by 250 kilometers per hour from its usual speed. Find the usual speed. So how do you solve this question? Any of you get the answer? Okay, Nilab has already given me the answer as 750. Okay, so let's start solving the question. An aeroplane takes off 30 minutes later than scheduled. Okay. So, okay, what is the usual time? I am assuming that the usual time taken by the aeroplane to reach a place, let that be t. Okay. Now, the destination, what is t? T is equal to distance by speed. correct? So his actual distance covered is 1500, and let me assume that the speed that he uses to cover this is s. So when he is traveling with a speed of s, this 1500 he is covering in a time t. Now what is happening? He is increasing his speed by 250 kilometers, and he is leaving 30 minutes later, correct? So what has happened now? 1500 divided by s plus 250, right? So this is the case. Now actually in what time is he reaching now? See, he is actually leaving 30 minutes later, correct? But he is reaching on the correct time. So what does that mean? See, earlier he was taking t hours traveling with this speed. Now actually he is only taking t minus half hours, correct? Because what has happened? He has left late, correct? He has left half an hour late but increased his speed by 250 to reach on time. Now here you have two equations and two unknowns, correct? Or what can you say here? T is equal to 1500 divided by s plus 250 plus 1 by 2. So just equate these two. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. So if you write these equations and if you equate them, what do you get? You get 1500 by s is equal to 1500 by s plus 250 plus 1 by 2. Solve for these and you will get the value of s. I think it is 750. Yes, it should be correct. So let us just try to solve it. So there are few steps involved. See, at this point what you can also do is try to put in the options, okay, because solving this is going to be lengthy. So at this point if you are able to fit in any options and you are able to find the answer, do that. That will be the easiest. Somebody says we did not use 30 minutes. See, 30 minutes is half an hour. Again here, see the units you have to look into. 1500 kilometers, 250 kilometers per hour, but here it is 30 minutes. So 30 minutes is half an hour. So I have taken it as 1 by 2. See, how did I frame this equation? I hope it is clear. Usually in t hours, he travels this distance with this speed. Now he is traveling the same distance with a different speed and he is only taking t minus 1 by 2 hours. And just solve for this. So here if you solve, what do you get? Actually if you solve, you will get plus s plus 250. You take the LCM down, 2 into s plus 250. Now you have to solve this and get the answer. And what I am saying is at this step, if you try to put in the options, if you are able to arrive at the answer faster, then that would be the better option. Why it is t minus 1 by 2 is, see, he is starting 30 minutes late and he is reaching on time, okay. Now I am saying, okay, I am going to my school, okay, from 7 o'clock I am leaving my home and I am reaching the school at 8 o'clock. Now you are going, Pechi Ramalakshmi is going to the school at, she is starting half an hour late and reaching at 8 o'clock. So what does that mean? You are starting only at 7:30 and reaching at 8, correct. So I am taking 1 hour means you are taking how much? 1 minus 1 by 2, right? Half an hour less than what I was taking. So that is how it is t minus half. Hope the concept is clear to you now. So at this point, try to put in the options, else you can solve it. So actually you will get a quadratic equation here to solve. Again, all this is a bit time consuming. From this you have to, so this is like you can factorize it here. If you have to get this 1000 into 750, correct? That will give you this 1000 minus 750 will give you 250. So actually if you are simplifying it, it will be s minus 750 into s plus 1000. So that is equal to 0, or you get s is equal to 750 kilometers per hour. But I suggest at this point put in the options. That's the easiest way to do. Option B. Yes. Let's move on to the next question. Next question is there on your screen. Again, this question is very easy. If you do it the right way, you get the answer in less than 5 seconds. Yes, the previous question is a little bit calculative, but as I said, at that particular point, go with the options. That would be the fastest way to solve it. Otherwise, it becomes very calculative. Two trains of length 110 meters and 90 meters are running on parallel lines in the same direction with a speed of 45 kilometers per hour and 50 kilometers per hour respectively. In what time will they pass each other? So see, one thing you have to note here in this question is, this is in terms of meters, these are in terms of kilometers per hour. So everything should be in any one term, right? And here if you see, the answer options are in terms of seconds. So meters per second, meter, that should be the units that you should be using. Okay, yeah, a lot of you are giving me the answer, so let me solve it for you. So here this kilometers per hour we have to convert. Now there are two trains, okay, they are moving in the same direction, and in what time will they pass each other? So the formula is this: L1 plus L2 divided by S1 minus S2, right? Length of both the trains put together divided by the difference between their speeds, since both of them are going in the same direction. Now here what we should see is that this kilometers per hour, see, one way of how we will approach it is, first we will convert 45 into 5 by 18. Similarly, we will do 50 into 5 by 18, correct? And then put that values here. Don't do it this way. The easier way to do it would be, see, what is basically difference between their speeds, right? When the denominator has to be difference between the speeds of both the trains. So what is 50 minus 45? That is 5. So 5 kilometers per hour is the difference between their speeds, or 5 kilometers per hour is how many meters per second? 5 into 5 by 18, correct? So the difference between the trains or their relative speed is 5 kilometer per hour, which is 5 into 5 by 18 meters per second. Now put this in the formula: 110 plus 90 divided by 5 into 5 by 18, or this is equal to 200 divided by 5 into 5 into 18. So if you solve this, you get the answer as 144, right? See, what I am trying to say is, don't convert them separately, convert them together. Or the other way you can do it is just 110 plus 90 divided by, okay, this is 50 into 5 by 18, correct? Minus, in terms of meters per second I am saying, minus 45 into 5 by 18. Do it here and simplify it towards the end, so that you don't waste time here with the simplification, because when you simplify this you will end up getting point values. I think this is 12.5 or whatever. So wasting time, let's not do it this way. So directly substitute it here, and in the end you can find the answer. That will be more easier. So the answer you would get would be 144 seconds, that is option D. Yes, let's move on to the next question. So this is a good question. Next question is there on your screen. So let me see who is giving me the answer first for this question. A train leaves a station X at 5 a.m. and reaches the station Y at 9 a.m. Another train leaves the station Y at 7 a.m. and reaches the station X at 10:30 a.m. At what time do the two trains cross each other? Again, if you understand the concept of this question becomes very easy to solve. And in less than 2 steps you get the answer. So let me see who is giving me the answer for this. Anybody got the answer for this question? I think this much time is more than enough to answer the question. Not a very, as I always say, in time and distance, the concepts or the basics are clear to you, then solving questions become easy. And also that some particular type of questions, if you practice, or if you have practiced such questions, when those types come in the exam, you will know how to approach the questions. That's also very important. If you're not done questions of this type, then might be if after you do this particular question, you might know how to approach such questions when they come in the exam. So let us assume there are 2 stations, okay? I'm just writing down what is given. In the meantime, if any of you get the answer, please give me the answer. So this train, this is a train 1 which is leaving from X and going towards Y. It is leaving at 5 o'clock and reaching at 9 o'clock. Correct? This is the train 1. So how many hours is it taking? It is taking 5 to 9, that is it is taking 4 hours to reach. Now there is another train which leaves here at 7 o'clock, reaches here at 10:30. Okay, this is train 2. Now train 2 leaves here 7, reaches here at 10:30, and next what is given? So okay, how long is this train taking? It is taking 3.5 hours, correct? 3 1 by 2, or that is equal to 7 by 2 hours this train is taking. Now at what time do both the trains cross each other? So that is the question. So yes, between 7 and 9, around 8, correct. But again, around 8, if you say you have option 7:36, 7:56, so you have to arrive at the correct answer. Okay, we cannot say between these timings. That will not do in the exam. Now, how to approach this question is like this. See, this train is starting at 5 a.m. itself, and this is starting only at 7 a.m. Now, if the total distance between these two stations is x kilometers, okay, now the first train is taking 4 hours to reach, okay. So what is happening? See, let us take, now the time is 7 a.m. Only at 7 a.m. the second train is starting, right? By the time it is 7 a.m., how long has the train 1 travelled? By 7 a.m., right? The train 1, see, train 1 is totally taking 4 hours to reach a place. So in 4 hours it is covering x kilometers. So in 1 hour, how much distance will it cover? The first train in 1 hour will cover x by 4 kilometers, or half of the distance, correct? Sorry, 1/4 of the distance it is covering in 1 hour. So in 2 hours, how much will it cover? In 2 hours it will cover x by 4 plus x by 4, or it is covering half of the distance, correct? Half of x it would have covered. So by 7 a.m. the train 1 would have covered half of the distance, okay, x by 2. So this is x by 2, correct? Now only the second train is starting. So when the train 1 has reached here at 7 o'clock, only the second train is starting. So what is the distance between both the trains? Now the distance between both the trains is x by 2. Okay, that is the distance between both of them which they have to cover. Now use the concept of relative speed to find the answer. Now what is the speed of the train 1? See, totally the train 1 is covering x kilometers in 4 hours. So what is the speed of the train 1? It is nothing but x by 4. Correct? Distance travelled divided by time taken. Similarly, what is the speed of the second train? It is also covering x kilometers in 7 by 2 hours. So x by 7 by 2, or that is equal to 2x by 7. This is the speed of the second train. Now we have to consider the distance for x by 2 distance only, correct? Because train 2 is starting at 7 a.m. and by 7 a.m. train 1 has already covered half of the distance. So this remaining half of the distance, how long they take to meet, correct? There is the distance between the two trains now is x by 2, and what is the time that they take to meet now? That is what we need to look at. So that is nothing but, see, what is the time that they take to meet from here? The distance is x by 2, and what is the speed? Speed is the sum of the speeds, because both of them are going in the opposite direction, that is 2x by 7 plus x by 4. Now if you solve this, you get the value of x as what? X is equal to 56 minutes. Okay, so approximately 56 minutes. So when do they meet? They meet after 56 minutes, after 7 p.m. So they meet at the time 7:56. So answer for this question is option B. Okay, let me explain it to you once again. See, the explanation might, like the steps might seem lengthy, but it is actually not. These are stuff that you can relate in your mind, okay? So the first train is taking 4 hours, the second train is taking 3.5 hours, and the first train is starting 2 hours before the second train. So totally it is taking 4 hours to cover x kilometers, means in 2 hours, that is by 7 a.m. it would have covered already half the distance, only remaining half the distance is there. So the actual distance between both the trains is now x by 2. If the total distance is x, distance between them is x by 2. Now we are just finding out what is the speed of each train. The speed of the first train is x by 4 because to cover a distance of x, it is taking 4 hours. The speed of the second train is x by 7 by 2 because to cover the same distance x, this train is taking 7 by 2 hours. So this is their speeds. So relative speed, since they are moving in the opposite direction, is going to be the sum. So the time that they take to meet is nothing but x by 2 by 2x by 7 plus x by 4. Okay. So this is, you solve this, x gets cancelled and you are left with the answer as 56 minutes. So this is the time that they take. Time is equal to distance by relative speed. That is 7:56. Hope it's clear. Let's move on to the next question. If this question actually comes in the exam, it is very easy to solve. Only the steps look a bit lengthy, but in the exam you will be able to do it faster. Next question. A boat running upstream takes 8 hours 48 minutes to cover a certain distance, while it takes 4 hours to cover the same distance running downstream. What is the ratio of the speed of the boat and the speed of the water current respectively? Pavan, is the explanation clear to you? I think you have given me the answer as C. It was B, it was not C. Both travel in opposite direction, Anubharat. I think you are asking me about the previous question. So I have added, see, I have done plus only. This is coming from here and this is coming from here. I have added only. Now look at the next question and give me the answer. So Chowdhury says B, B, B. Yes, Chowdhury, B is the answer. Are they, which question are you asking, Anubharat? In the previous question, yes, they were traveling in opposite direction. Okay, it's clear. Anybody got the answer for this? See, again, this question might seem a bit calculative if we do it in the normal way. But as I said, there are two formulas from boats and streams. In the beginning of the session, I just told you the formulas. If you make use of those formulas here, solving this question becomes a bit easier. Otherwise, a lot of equations involved and we'll have to solve. So Jatinder is giving me the answer as 3.2, Rahul is also saying B, Pavan is saying C. Okay, so let's solve. See, I am just assuming that going upstream, okay, upstream, let the speed of upstream, right, just be x kilometers per hour. Now this x kilometers per hour is what? Upstream means it is actually u minus v, correct? The speed of the boat minus the speed of the current. So I am just taking it as x. Okay, u minus v, I have taken it as x. Similarly, speed of the boat downstream, right? Speed of the boat downstream, I am just taking it as y. That is the net speed. See, I have taken this as the net speed, not as separate speed of the current and speed of the boat and all that. So what is actually y? Y is nothing but u plus v. Okay, so I am just taking it like this to ease my calculations. Now, a boat is running upstream, it takes 8 hours 48 minutes. So what is the distance covered by the boat in this 8 hours 48 minutes? It is nothing but, see, 8 hours 48 minutes is how many hours? Everything let us take in terms of one unit. So I am converting this 8 hours 48 minutes is 8 plus 48 by 60 hours, correct? Or that is equal to 8, 4 by 5 hours. So 8 hours 48 minutes is nothing but 8, 4 by 5 hours. Now that is nothing equal to 44 by 5 hours. So I have just converted this 8 hours 48 minutes in terms of hours. So the distance covered by the boat upstream is what? The distance covered upstream is equal to 44 by 5 into x. correct? Similarly, what is the distance covered downstream? That is nothing but, it is taking 4 hours, correct? 4 into, now here the net speed downstream is, I have taken it as y. So that is 4y. Or what have they given? They have given that the distance covered upstream is equal to the distance covered the downstream. Or I can say 44 by 5x is equal to 4y. Or if you equate this, you get y is equal to 11 by 5x. Now you've got this. Now see, we know that there is a formula to find the speed of the boat in still water. So what is the speed of the boat in still water? If you remember, at first we had discussed that, right? Speed of the boat in still water is equal to, that is y upstream plus downstream by 2. You remember, the net speed upstream plus the net speed downstream by 2 will give you the speed of the boat in the still water, right? Similarly, the speed of the stream, okay, so this is the speed of the boat in the still water. Similarly, to find the speed of the stream, we also learnt a formula, that is speed downstream minus speed upstream by 2. Similarly, y minus x by 2, right? Do you guys remember this formula that we learnt in the beginning? All of you remember this, right? See, speed of boat in still water is half of the speed downstream, that is the net speed downstream plus the net speed upstream. Similarly, the speed of the stream is half into net speed downstream minus the net speed upstream. So that is what just I have written here. So using this, right, now what have they asked? What is the ratio between the speed of the boat and the speed of the water? So we have to find SB is to SS. Correct? So we know this relationship between x and y. Just substitute that here, you get the answer. So what is y plus s? Just make everything in terms of x or everything in terms of y. So let's make everything in terms of x here. So this will become 11 by 5x plus x by 2 is to, here it will be 11 by 5x minus x by 2. So this and this gets cancelled. Take the LCM. So what do you get? Here you will get 11 plus 5, that is 16x, correct? X will also get cancelled everywhere actually. So it will be actually 16 is to 11 minus 5, that is 6. So 16 is to 6, or this is equal to 8 is to 3. So the answer for this would be option C, 8 is to 3. Yeah, now everybody is getting it. So if you know this formula, no, very easy to solve the question. Again, I have explained it, that's why you see a lot of steps. But otherwise it's very easy to solve. Hope it's clear. Any issues with this question? Anybody didn't understand what we have done? Shall I move on to the next one? Anubrat got it correctly. Okay. Any other doubt? Shall I move on to the next question? Okay, I hope it's clear. Let me look at the next question. The next question is there on your screen. Preeti and Uma stay next to each other and study in the same school. Preeti and Uma start walking towards their school at the speed of 2 kilometers per hour and 3 kilometers per hour respectively. The faster of the two reaches the school first, turns around and starts walking back. If Preeti and Uma meet 200 meters away from their home, what is the distance between their residence and school? Okay, it's clear for everybody. Now look at this next question. So what is given? There are two people. Preeti, speed of Preeti is 2 kilometers per hour and speed of Uma is 3 kilometers per hour. So with this, what are they asking us? They are both walking towards the school. So okay, there is one point here. This is their house. From here they are going towards their school, and now from this itself we very clearly know who is the one who is faster. Uma is the faster one, right? And what is happening? The faster one reaches the school and turns back and starts walking back. So here I am assuming that the distance between the home and the school is x kilometers. So the distance between the home and the school is x kilometers. The faster one, that is Uma. Uma is going from here, reaching the school and coming back and meeting Preeti somewhere here. So they are meeting here. Now what have they given? Preeti and Uma meet 200 meters away from their home. So what does this 200 meters represent? This 200 meters represent the distance that has been travelled by Preeti. See, by the time Uma has gone to the school and come back till here, Preeti has only travelled 200 meters. So that is the thing that you just require to answer this question. Now the question will become very easy. I just explained what is given in the question. So with this you will be able to get the answer very fast. Any of you get the answer, please give me the answer. Ellen Tamilan has given me the answer as 250. So let's check. So here what is the distance that is travelled by Preeti? Preeti has travelled 200 meters, right? In the same time, what is the distance travelled by Uma? Uma has travelled x plus, she has covered this x fully, then another this distance, right? What is this distance? This distance is nothing but, see, if the full distance is x and this is 200, then this is x minus 200. So Uma has covered x plus x minus 200, or Uma has covered 2x minus 200. Now here we know the time taken by both of them to cover these distances is the same. So what you can equate the time, correct? What is the time taken by Preeti? Time taken by Preeti is equal to 200 divided by 2, correct? 2 kilometers per hour. Now here again, meter kilometer per hour. So again we have to convert this kilometer per hour into meters per second. So 2 into 5 by 18 meters per second. Similarly, what is the time taken by Uma? That is equal to, see, total distance that she has covered is 2x minus 200 divided by 3 into 5 by 18. Now equate these two, 200 by 2 into 5 by 18, that is equal to 2x minus 200 divided by 3 into 5 by 18. See, as I said, better not to simplify in the beginning and find out the speeds and all, because when we equate these will get cancelled. So no point in wasting our time simplifying in the beginning itself. So now you solve for this. What do you get the value of x as? 100. 300 is equal to 2x minus 200, or x is equal to 2x is equal to 500, or x is equal to 250 meters. So distance between their residence and school is d, that is 250 meters. How the time taken will be same. See, Pechi Ramalakshmi, what have they given? They both start walking towards their school, right? The faster reaches the school, turns around and starts walking back, and they are meeting 200 meters away from the school. So what does that mean? Preeti is walking, she is still on her way to the school. In the same time, by the time Preeti is covering 200 meters, what is happening? Uma goes to the school and comes back. So the time taken by both of them to cover these distances is the same. So that's how we equated the time. Okay, I hope it is clear. Let's move on to the next question. Pechi Ramalakshmi, hope that clears your doubt. The next question is there on your screen. Everybody is getting the answer for this question correctly. D. Okay, Bhavani, Chandraniraj, Rahul, Pavan, all of you got it. Good. Now look at this question. A bike rider starts at 60 kilometers per hour and increases his speed in every 2 hours by 3 kilometers per hour. Then the maximum distance covered by him in 24 hours is dash. Uh, 96 kilometers. Is 96 there in the option? Oh, okay, you're giving me the answer as none of these. Okay. How can that be? Understand the question correctly. There is a biker who's riding at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. So in 1 hour itself he is covering 60 kilometers, and they are asking you in 24 hours how much he will cover. If he is traveling at 60 kilometers itself, he will cover 60 into 24, right? Here he is increasing his speed also. So 96 will not be the answer. See, first his speed was 60 kilometers per hour. So for the first 2 hours, he is traveling at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. Then what's happening? At the third hour, right, what is he doing? He is increasing his speed by 3 kilometers per hour. So what is his speed now? It is 63. Correct? See, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 like that hours. First 2 hours he is traveling with a speed of 60. Next 2 hours he is traveling with a speed of 63. Next 2 hours he is traveling with a speed of 66 and so on. Correct? So what is the distance that he is covering every 2 hours? In the first 2 hours he will cover 60 into 2. In the next 2 hours he will cover 63 into 2. Correct? 60 kilometers he is covering in 1 hour means in 2 hours how much will he cover? He will cover 60 into 2. Here 63 into 2. Then 66 into 2 and so on. Correct? That will be the distance that he is covering. Now in the question what are they asking? What is the distance that he covers in 24 hours? Correct? So they are asking you the sum of these distances that he covers. Okay? Hope till this it is clear. See, every 2 hours he is traveling with different speeds and the speed is increasing by 3 kilometers per hour. So in the first 2 hours the distance he covers is 60 into 2. Next 2 hours the distance he covers is 63 into 2, speed into time. Right? They are asking you the sum of all these for till 24 hours. Correct? So how many such terms will be there? 12 such terms will be there. Correct? 24, everything, that is every 2 hours one particular speed. Correct? So if there are totally 24 hours, there will be 12 such speeds with a difference of 3 kilometers per hour. So what is this? How can you write this as? See, this 2 is common everywhere. So you can take it as 60 plus 63 plus etc. up till there are 12 terms like this. Correct? Because 24 hours means 24 by 2, 12 such intervals will be there where he will be traveling with different speeds. So what does this mean? Now this is in the term of what? How do you find the sum? This is in the term of an arithmetic progression and you have to find the sum of the arithmetic progression. So what is the sum of an arithmetic progression where a few terms are given? Sum of n terms is equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. See, you should know this formula to solve this question. So sum to n terms of an AP is given as n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d, where a is the first term, d is the common difference, n is the number of terms. So this is equal to 12 by 2 into 2a, that is 2 into 60, 120 plus number of terms is here 12, correct? 12 minus 1, 11 into d, differences between each term is 3. So when you solve this you get 120 plus 33 or that is equal to 6 into 153, correct? 6 into 153. So what is the total distance that is covered by him? That is equal to 2 into 6 into 153. That will be the total distance covered by him, correct? 6 into 153 is 918 into 2, that is 1836. So answer is option B. Okay, I hope it's clear what is given. Very easy question. If you understand it correctly and you know the formula, this formula if you know, very easy to solve. Everybody is getting it correctly now? Good. So let's move on to the next question. This is a very, very easy question. So this is a question wherein there is a train and a platform. A train takes 5 seconds to pass an electric pole. If the length of the train is 120 meters, the time taken by it to cross a railway platform 180 meters long is dash seconds. Okay, now everybody got the answer correctly for that? Good. Now this is also a very easy question. Less than 3 or 4 seconds you should be giving me the answer for this. Yeah, see, Ellen Tamilan has given me the answer. Nilab has given me the answer first. Okay, followed by Ellen Tamilan. Okay, so how do you solve this? See, there is a platform, right, of let's say length, how much here? 180 meters. Now there is a train. Okay, now there is a train of length 120 meters. So it has to cross this platform. How long will it take? See, when there are questions on platforms, same concept to be used like how you use two trains. So when do you say that this train, okay, has completely crossed this platform? See, this point of this train should come here. Correct? This end of the train should reach here. Then only I can say that this train has crossed the platform. So for this point to reach this point, what is the distance that it will take? 120 plus 180. So that will be the distance covered by this point to come from here to here. Correct? So what is that? 180 plus 120. So that should be the distance covered. And okay, first you have to find the speed of the train, sorry. No, that is what is the time taken to cross the pole, that is given as 5 seconds. So speed of the train is what? Speed of the train is 120 divided by 5, correct? That is, it is travelling at a speed of 24 meters per second. Now to cross this platform, so as I said, this point has to come here. For that the train has to cover a distance of 180 plus 120 with what speed? Its speed is 24 divided by 24, that is equal to 300 by 24, or that is equal to 12.5 seconds. Okay. First you find the speed of the train, then using this concept you solve. So 300 by 24 is 12.5. Very, very easy question. This was a clerk's question again. So I hope you get such easy questions for the upcoming clerk's exam, which are mark scoring. So I think with that we have come to an end of the questions that we have chosen for today's session, and I hope all the questions that we solved in today's session was clear to all of you. Any doubts that you have in any of the questions that we solved today? Any doubts? Everything is clear? So as I said, in time, speed and distance, if you know these concepts very well, it is very, very easy to solve questions from this topic, except in mains exam you can accept some little difficulty questions, but otherwise the question standard will be very easy for prelims exams, so shouldn't be a problem. Any doubts? Okay, everything is clear, right? Good to know that you have come across some new concept. I think Ramalakshmi is telling me about the circle question that we solved today. Okay. Upstream, downstream. So Shruti, see, upstream, downstream, the concept that I taught today was that when there is a formula, okay, to find the speed of a boat, the speed of the stream, okay, that is generally given as half into speed of the, that is in general, see when you, okay, let me just share my screen, let me just help her doubt. Everything clear? Okay, let me just help her 1 second with the doubt that she asked me. One second, Shruti, let me just share my screen. For others, I hope it is clear. Yeah. Can you see my screen? Yeah, this was the question that you asked, no? See, this is the formula that you have. This is the formula that I used there. See, speed of the boat in the still water is given by half into speed downstream plus speed upstream. Now here the speed downstream accounts to what? U plus V, okay? And speed upstream accounts to U minus V, right? Similarly, see here if you put U plus V plus U minus V, this will get cancelled. So speed of the water in still water is nothing but, speed of the boat in still water is nothing but U, right? So 2U by 2, that is U. So that's how you get that formula. This was the formula that I used in that question, okay? I hope it is clear, Shruti. If you are still not understanding, just go back to the video lessons that is there in the portal. I'm sure you will be able to answer that, understand that better. Yeah? Okay, so Rahul tells me, please try to improve your handwriting. Definitely, Rahul. I will definitely try to improve my handwriting. First time I'm getting such a comment for my handwriting. No problem. Next time I'll see to it that I write better so that you understand it better. Thank you. Okay, so all the very best with your preparations, guys. And this is Gayatri signing off for now. And I'll see you in the next session. And all the very best to all of you for your upcoming exams.